Hello, everyone. My presentation today is about how everyday people start trading in less than 7 days, or how they can do that without using complicated strategies, sacrificing a lot of time. I know time is precious, or investing large amounts of money. So my name is Valerie Fox. I'm going to try to continue to engage you throughout the presentation. So look forward to using that chat a little bit. Find it makes it a little more fun. Okay, so quick disclaimer before we get started. This is required in the US, but this presentation is for educational purposes, should not be considered investment or trading advice. Trading always involves risk and is not suitable for everyone. And just like any other business or investment venture, everyone's results are different. So, okay, now we got that passed. If you have questions or you want to take a screenshot of that and read it later, you're more than welcome to, but let's dive into a quick introduction before we dive in. So, I'm here to tell you that, if you've failed in the past at other strategies, it's really not your fault. There can be things you can look in the mirror for sure, but a lot of people come into trading and they don't experience success right away. And there's a lot of reasons for that. And I'm going to dive into those today. If you're concerned you can't succeed, I want you to put those fears to rest. Because we're going to be talking a lot about strategy today and the different components that really will help you succeed in the future. And maybe other people have told you it's impossible to learn to trade quickly. And I'm here to tell you and remind you that when you have a trade plan, it is possible. When you have a straightforward trade plan without all the fluff, when you have exactly everything lined out, so you know how to operate. And we're going to talk more about operational excellence a little bit later too, but I'm here to show you, you can make extra money, you can learn quickly, you can do things very strategically to give yourself that biggest opportunity for success in trading. So my goal with this training is really to empower the people that want an executable trading strategy and consistent results without that overwhelm, without too much information that's not relevant, without all the fluff, and definitely without losing your hard-earned money or feeling like a failure, because I tell you what, I've been there before, so I can relate. So if you learn nothing else from this presentation, I'm just going to put it up here at front. I want to remind you, and maybe this is a reminder or maybe this is new to you, but the only way to achieve consistent results is with consistent execution. So for me, my biggest lesson over the years is that I needed consistent execution in order to get consistent results. And while that kind of seems natural and obvious, with trading, it's so easy to do a million different things and really operate where you're not operating consistently. So the way that you can really operate consistently is to use a trade plan. And I'm going to talk a lot more about that later in the presentation, but a trade plan is a written down set of rules that guide your trading day in and day out. So, how can you expect to get consistent results if you're not operating the same way in the markets each day, right? So I'm just going to take a quick poll, type it in the chat box. Are you using a written down trade plan, or do you have your trading strategy written down? Give me a yes or a no in the chat box. Just want to do a pulse check here for those of you that are trading. Got some no's coming through. Okay, not yet, yes, no. Okay, so a lot more no's than yeses, which is okay. You're going to walk away from this training with some really good information that will help you. Okay, so what we're going to cover today is how to ditch the complicated trading strategies, how to trade without sacrificing your lifestyle, and lastly, skipped it, how to start small and scale quickly. So before we dive into that, I'm kind of also curious, how many of you know who I am? I'm just kind of dove in deep. Give me a 1 if you know me, if you've seen one of my presentations, or a 2 if you've never heard of me before. Okay, lots of 2s, as I expected, because there's a big audience here being pulled in from a lot of different amazing people. So I'm just going to do a quick introduction to who I am. So, I've kind of known as the consistent execution coach. You guys have already heard me preaching this already, so you're going to get to know more about that. I've personally been trading for over 10 years, and I still trade today. I actually trade Forex, which I'll get into a little bit later. I've trained thousands of traders worldwide, and I've worked with people who trade, $100 account all the way up to six-figure accounts. So I've helped everyone from high school graduates to retired brain surgeons learn how to trade. And I really love that kind of extensive background and working with so many different people. I'm really proud of that. My story real fast, just to give you some context for the rest of the presentation. I was an overwhelmed working professional. So I used to work in corporate America. After college, went in, got a job, wanted to climb the corporate ladder, was doing great, thriving. And then I kind of hit this wall where I was like, oh, this kind of sucks. I want more time with my family. I was very out of balance with that work-life balance. And, I started researching all different kinds of ways to make money outside of my corporate job, as I like to call it. And I did some research, did some dabbling, and in my heart, I knew Forex trading was where I wanted to spend my time and where I wanted to focus. There's a lot of things I like about it, which I'll go into later, but ultimately in my early endeavors, I spent like 3 years losing. And that was hard, you guys. That was really, really hard. I invested in a lot of programs. I lost a lot of money. It wasn't fun. And if you can imagine doing something for 3 years and not succeeding, man, the mental strain that caused on me was really yucky. I'm getting some I can relates in the chat box. So everything changed when I created my own trading strategy that gets consistent results. And a lot of that boils down to consistent execution, like I said, along with just kind of a proven and executable strategy. So we're going to talk more about that today. And, now I'm living my dream. I retired from my job. I'm traveling the world. Here's a couple pictures of me. Back in 2019 at this point. I'm really missing travel. I'm in Prague in the picture above with my husband and my daughter. And then in the lower right picture, I'm in Hallstatt, Austria, which is just really beautiful. Add it to your bucket list, especially those of you in Europe. If you've never been, it's really picturesque town in the Alps with this cute little village. But you see in both of those pictures, I have a little backpack purse on, and I'm just taking my laptop with me and trading. Even while I travel, it's really low time commitment, really easy to do on the go. And so I try to do that as often as I can, although coronavirus has put in quite a little damper in my travel abilities. So one of the questions I always get from people, okay, Smarty Pants, if you're so good at trading, why don't you just do that? And yes, I totally could. My results are amazing. I'm never going to stop trading. It only takes me an hour a day. So my time and financial freedom has been accomplished. But something that I honestly didn't expect to miss when I left corporate America was working with people. I missed all the relationship building, the leadership development, mentoring others, and helping them achieve things that I know they're capable of achieving. So one day, a few years ago, the light bulb went off and I was like, you know what? I can help traders shorten their learning curve with the knowledge and experience that I've accrued in the 10 years I've been trading Forex. So I became a trading coach, and now I get to, empower traders. There we go. Empower traders to achieve their own time and financial freedom so they can do more of what they love the same way that I've been able to do. So my question is, why wouldn't I want to do that? Why wouldn't I want to help other people be successful and learn from the lessons that I've learned over the years? Because it's honestly, not as hard as I made it out to be. So that's my background. How does all of this apply to you? Really, based on my own personal experience and my experience helping other people, I've proven that anyone can learn to trade, even beginners, right? And I've got this picture of the baby at the computer. I totally love that. Babies probably can't trade, right? But what I'm saying is trading is an acquired skill. It's something that you have to learn. No one's born with the ability to trade. Anyone that's doing really well in trading has learned it, and it can be learned. So I enjoy teaching others. Also, trading Forex specifically is possible any time of day. So one of the things I really love about trading Forex personally is that it's a 24-hour market 5 days a week. So you can trade during normal business hours, but you can also trade in the evenings and overnight. And that's one of the many, many reasons I trade Forex over other financial markets. And, there's a lot of strategies that can be applied any time of day, including the strategy that I use. So I'll talk a little bit more about that later. But the last thing, one of the things that I learned is you can start small and scale up. So another beautiful thing about trading Forex, at least day trading, is you can start really small. You can open a Forex account and start placing trades with an account as little as $50. So really the great thing about that is it's a low barrier of entry. Comparing that to, day trading on the stock market where you need a $25,000 account, it just really opens up the door for a lot more people to start small, learn a strategy, implement that strategy, get results, right? Refine your execution, get results, build your confidence, and then scale up. So that's what I've done. That's what I hope other people do. And it's definitely applicable to you if it's something you're interested in doing. And, I work with tons of clients, and I'm not going to sit here and just do a whole bunch of stuff, but I just want to show proof that there's other people getting results, right? Dennis had a 63% win rate in my program, grew his account by 3.7% in a single week. That's incredible, right? And Mackenzie achieved a 73% win rate while still being new to the system and making a few mistakes. So, it's an acquired skill. When you take the time to learn it, results are possible very quickly. So let's jump into the secrets. I know I'm limited on time and I could sit here and talk to you guys all day. So secret number one, how to ditch the complicated trading strategies. So the problem is that some people think trading is really complicated, and it can be, but it doesn't have to be. Some people also say there's no such thing as a simple strategy. Well, I'm going to tell you a quick story. It's based on my experience, and maybe you can relate to it. So my background about some personal experience is I've tried countless strategies in the past, right? There was a time when I had so many indicators, patterns, was looking at multiple time frames. I could barely even see the candlesticks on my chart because I had so many indicators covering my charts. Can anyone relate to that? Give me a yes in the chat box, where your charts are literally just covered in indicators, where it's like basically impossible to even see the candlesticks. I'm getting tons of yeses. Okay, I laugh because I've been there. And you can totally make money trading with a lot of indicators, but there's also like a little bit of like information paralysis. And also something I learned is that it's possible to learn to read the language of the charts. That's what a lot of big traders do. You can read what the candlesticks are telling you, and it's not as hard as I used to make it seem, or as I used to make it seem in my head, honestly. So now I make money year over year using naked charts. I literally just let price tell me the direction, when to buy and sell, and no more trying to predict anything, which, by the way, prediction is not what trading is about. It's about probabilities, giving yourself an edge. So a lot of people kind of take trading personally, and they're like, I need to predict where it's going to go next. And, oh man, I was wrong or I was right. It's not really about that at all. It's about giving yourself an edge, finding what are called high probability trade setups that more often than not make money over time, right? That's the whole goal of trading. You're never going to win 100% of your trades. So I'm going to show you how I do this. I'm going to show you what my charts look like, so you can kind of see what naked charts really can look like and you can trade off of. So this is an example of what I mean by naked charts. It's what my charts look like. Literally no indicators to find trade setups. I do have those little arrows on my charts, which are called fractals. And they're honestly not telling me anything that I can't see on the candlestick charts. It's kind of just a little shortcut. Basically, a green arrow tells me when I have a high where the two candles to the left and the two candles to the right are lower. And then a red arrow tells me when the two candles to the left and the two candles to the right. So these are swing lows and swing highs for me. I can see it without the arrows, but it makes it a little easier. So I leave them on there, and my charts are still really, really clean. So in a second, I'll show you how I find a trade setup on this simple chart. But you might also be thinking before I get there, okay, that's fine. I use naked charts. That's great. But where do I enter? Where do I exit? How do I manage the trades? How do I mitigate my risk? What factors might impact my profitability? And that's exactly where a trade plan comes in. So a trade plan should detail all of that with specificity so that each and every time you qualify and enter a trade, you're doing it with precision and consistency. So remember what I said about consistent execution, that's how you get consistent results. So let me go into more detail about what I believe should be included in a trade plan. A lot of you early on said you weren't using a trade plan, you didn't have your strategy written down. So let me talk to you a little bit about the things that I think are important to include in a trade plan. The first one, I have a couple different sections in the trade plan. The first one is the logistics section. And I've made, this is my terminology, but your trading style, you should only be trading one trading style. Are you a day trader, a swing trader, a position trader, a scalper, an intraday trader? You should know that answer. And that also kind of dictates which charts you're using in your analysis. What are the ideal trading times for you? Can you trade anytime with your strategy? Is there a certain time of day? Those are the types of things that should be included and that should be thought out in advance. Are there any trading exclusions? Maybe you can look for trades any time of day, but like for me, I don't want to be entering new trades when there's an upcoming red flag news event for a currency. Or maybe if you're a stock trader, if it's earnings seasons, maybe it's not wise to be in a trade when an earnings release is coming up. There are certain times where, you just want to make sure you stand aside for that day or for a couple hours leading up to some kind of release. Also, what are you trading? How are you narrowing your list, right? So one of the cool things about Forex, so there's only a couple hundred currency pair crosses. And even with that, I only trade the majors and the minors. So I trade 28 currency pairs. And I know that up front. But for some of you who are stock traders or futures trader, you're probably spending a lot of time narrowing down what you even trade. But there should be kind of a logical way to do that. Like maybe, I don't know, I'm not a stock trader, but like earnings per share or something needs to be in a certain range, or maybe you only trade Fortune 500 stocks. I don't know. There's a lot of different ways depending upon your strategy that you're using that you would need to narrow down the options of what you're trading and what is good to trade. Additionally, for risk mitigation purposes, you should know what your max risk is. And not just like a general max risk, but like what's your max risk per trade? What's the most amount of money you're willing to put on a trade? Or, for me in a currency where multiple currency pairs can overlap, this is like a correlated thing. So maybe there are stocks or industries that are correlated where you wouldn't want to be overexposed in a given day or in a given week. And then, for me, I'm an intraday trader. So I have a daily cap where like, I'm not going to allow myself to risk more than 3% of my account balance in a given day. So the next section is qualifications. So this is really that list of things that give you a high probability trade setup. It's kind of like a checklist. Okay, do I have this, 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 and this? Yes. Then I have a qualified trade setup that's going to give me an edge. So things might be like, what do you need to see on your charts? Where do you need to see it? When do you need to see it? For those of you that like to use indicators, I know a lot of people do like EMA crosses. Like, what are you waiting to see? Are you waiting to see the 20 EMA across the 50 EMA, and that's a buy or a sell or whatever? There's things that you can see with your indicators on your charts. Are there any reasons that a trade would be disqualified? Like maybe the EMA cross it, the two EMAs cross, but maybe you're getting divergence on the MACD. And so when that happens, you wouldn't want to trade. I mean, these are things that, again, with experience and back testing or learning from someone else who's kind of perfected these things, you would know why things would be disqualified. For me, if a certain lag time happens from when I have a qualified setup to an entry triggering, I don't want it to lag too much. I want the momentum to flow and to get a trigger within 4 hours of when I hit a pending order. So ultimately, your qualification sections tells you what parameters need to be met in order for you to enter a trade. Trade management, on the other hand, is all about, okay, how are you going to enter? Do you do market entries where you enter at the live price? Do you do limit entries where you're waiting for price to pull back? How do you determine your entry price? What are your exit prices in profit and in loss? You should always be using the stop loss. That's my personal opinion. Highly, highly recommend it. That's how you mitigate your risk. So you should know where you want out of the trade in profit and loss even before you enter, right? And that's something that I didn't used to do back in the day. I would kind of like let it go and go with my gut, which was really my emotions. And then I'd made a lot of bad decisions, and then I wasn't, executing a strategy consistently. And then I wondered why my results weren't consistent. So this is really, really important to know strategically, either based on the indicators you're using or price action or fundamental analysis or whatever. Know where you want to exit in profit and loss, and use orders if you can so that happens automatically. Also, if you use pending orders, you should know how your pending orders should be managed. Should they cancel after a certain amount of time if they don't trigger? What are the settings? Do you adjust pending orders at all? Or when would you cancel them? And then the same thing for live trade management. When do you make adjustments? Maybe you tighten your stop loss once, a 1-to-1's hit. Do you do any partial liquidation once you're in profit? And what situations would you manually close a trade? So these are kind of like super high level of the things that I think should be thought out in advance, written down, and kind of giving you that level of consistency in your execution. So let me ask you guys, do you see how this can really add a lot of value in consistency to your trading if you have this level of information thought out in advance? Give me a yes or no. I'm just curious if this is resonating with you guys. Okay, getting some yeses, sure's, awesome. So something that I want to give to you guys for being here with me today, it's a free trade execution checklist. It kind of goes into that trade plan detail a little bit further. So go ahead and take a screenshot of this. This is the link. You can get that free trade execution checklist, www.consistentfxprofits.com/checklist. So that's my gift to you guys for being here. Thank you. Thank you so much. We still have more content to cover, of course, but take a screenshot and this is yours if you want it. And there's an additional training video and then a PDF for you when you go there. So thank you guys for being here. Okay. Now what I want to do is, now that I've talked to you about kind of that trade plan, I want to go back to this screenshot and show you that there was a trade setup and how my trade plan really dictates where I got in. So basically my qualification checklist says when I have a 6 fractal trend, which I had here, a 6 fractal uptrend, when price rotates down and kind of breaks these higher lows, now I have a lower low, I enter at the 61.8 fib. When you draw a fib from the rotation point down to the lowest price, the 61.8, so I would have had a sell here to go further down and follow the rotation, with this being a resistance zone. My stop loss would have been, it's price action based, but it's 4 pips above the highest point here. So you can see my stop loss was here. Price triggered my sell, didn't even come close to my stop loss, came back down to my take profit here. I personally do a 1-to-1. It really suits my trading personality well. A lot of people think you can't do 1-to-1s, which I think is ridiculous, because there are a lot of different levels to profitability. But, when I studied and created my trading strategy, I knew that consistency was important. I knew that I wanted to make money over time, and I was able to do that with this strategy on a 1-to-1. Because think about it, my 1-to-1's here. If I have a 2-to-1, it would be down here, and a 3-to-1 would be down here. So are you more likely to hit your 1-to-1 or your 2-to-1 or your 3-to-1? Like, which one are you going to hit first? Your 1-to-1, 2-to-1, or 3-to-1? 1-to-1, exactly. So for me, and for this strategy, based on some extensive back testing I did, the 1-to-1 actually far outperformed the 2-to-1, 2-to-1 with the trailing stop, 3-to-1, and 3-to-1 with this trailing stop. So for me, I did the work, I did the back testing. I know that not only did the 1-to-1 perform perform best. But I win a lot more trades than I lose. And that's why the one-to-one works, right? I'm just hitting my take profit more than I'm hitting my stop loss. And even though it's a one-to-one, it works out well because I'm consistently making money. So my win rate is above 50%. It ranges, obviously it's ever changing, but it's close to around 70, 75%. So it's really, really consistent where I'm winning more trades than I'm losing. And that's how I make money over time. We could get into a lot of other things. There are obviously strategies that do better with the 2-to-1, the 3-to-1, the 4-to-1, the 5-to-1, all these other things. But my strategy works really well at the 1-to-1 and it works well for me. And so I lock in my profit, I call it a day, and then I reinvest the next day. So that's really works well for me and for students in my program. So for me, simple is better. I really love naked charts. I love reading the language of the market, and I use a written down trade plan. So that's how I keep things simple. And that's how I teach traders to keep it simple as well, and really just focus on your execution, not on the results. And that's a big mistake for a lot of traders too. They focus so much on wins and losses, which is obviously important, but really in order to get the results, to get the consistency, you have to have a trade plan and you have to have consistent execution to do that. So let's go to the next one here. Secret number 2. A lot of people think, oh, I have to sit at my computer all day to be a trader, or it takes months or years to become profitable. A lot of people just have these like kind of false beliefs in their mind that it's like hard, right? Who's heard that trading is hard? Give me a yes or a no. Oh yeah, and I love that KISS principle, Peggy. I just saw that in the comments. Who's heard trading is hard? Trading is difficult. Trading takes forever. Anyone? Yeah, we got some yeses. Okay, so you can relate. Well, I'm going to reference my background again just to give you some context. I used to spend hours at my charts. Hours. Like when I first was trying to learn, I used to trade in the middle of the night at one point. I live in the US. I was still working full time. This is, years ago when I was trying to just make things happen. And I was like, oh yeah, I could get up in the middle of the night. That's the London session. I've read about how the London session is so amazing, which it can be, but it's not the only time to trade for sure. But I had this like false sense that like the only way I could make this work was if I traded the London session for Forex, which is funny now. But I would get up in the middle of the night, like literally disrupt my sleep to wake up and trade when I looked about like that girl on the picture, like holding my eyes open. I was not dressed in a dress like she is, but it's just insane. And I did it for a while and it felt good, but it wasn't sustainable. And why I even thought that would be sustainable long-term, I'm not sure. So it took me over 3 years to become profitable. This is definitely not how you should do it. It doesn't take people 3 years to be profitable. I kind of took that long, hard, and expensive way with a lot of lessons along the way. But the good news is I'm here to share some of my mistakes and lessons learned. So hopefully you are not in the same shoes as I was back in the day. So now I've got a flexible trading strategy that fits my lifetime. It can literally be traded any time of day, in the Asian session, the London session, the New York session. I work with traders all over the world. I've traded it at different times in the day. I kind of change up when I trade on occasion just to better fit my lifestyle. I spend less than an hour in total a day trading. So I'm not sitting at my computer all day. One of the beautiful reasons why I wanted to trade in the first place was to get that time freedom, as I mentioned earlier. And because my strategy is so simple, I can trade on the go while I'm traveling. I can even trade on my phone if I want. So yeah, there's a lot of flexibility there and I love it. Here I am last year, by the way, in Madeira, Portugal, trading in an Airbnb, listening to the ocean before we went out for the day. And then also here I am in Lisbon. So again, I just love to travel and it's so cool that I can take this on the go. So you might also be thinking, okay, well, that's great, Valerie, but I can't find a flexible strategy. I've tried doing that, but I haven't been successful. Or trading on the go sounds great, but it seems also a little bit complicated. Or, hey, spending less than an hour of trading gosh, I'm spending like 5, 6, 7 hours like that. How is that even possible? Or maybe you're just not able to be profitable. There, earlier in the session, a lot of you said like, hey, I'm experienced, but I'm kind of struggling. Well, it's all possible. And just because you've never done it doesn't mean it's not possible. So, I say these things and I bring them up because, I've thought all of these things in the past. And really that's kind of like limiting beliefs coming to the surface, which is honestly a whole nother topic. I could talk about mindset and limiting beliefs and all that. But I'm telling you, it's all possible. There are plenty of people doing it and you can do it too. So, the truth is, my computer's freezing. Sorry. Let me get my clicker working. Okay, there we go. The truth is you can do all of this. You can find a flexible trading strategy. There's a lot of options out there. You should only be considering strategies that are convenient for your current and desired time of day to trade. That's a lesson I learned the hard way. Don't be waking up in the middle of the night like a crazy person, even though I know we can all be crazy when we're trying to achieve some wild, audacious goals, right? So you can trade on the go if your strategy is simple enough. Then you can do it on a mobile device, take advantage of trading naked charts if you learn to read the market. You can spend less than an hour a day trading. When you have that qualification checklist, which is part of that trade plan I was talking about earlier, and you know exactly what you're looking for on the charts, then the qualified trade setups are either there or they're not. And you're not spending all day trying to decipher charts. You know exactly what you're looking for. It's there or it's not. And looking for trades should take you maybe 5 or 10 minutes. That's what it does for me. Come to my charts. It takes me 5 minutes. Do I have a trade? Do I not? If I do, I put a pending order and I walk away. And I come back and check in an hour or later in the day when I'm available again. And of course, it's possible to be profitable. There's lots of skeptics out there talking about how no one makes money trading. And I'm here to remind you, there are tons of people making money trading. All of the speakers here and many, many more in this event, myself included. So what it takes to be profitable is commitment and focus, personal accountability, and patience. And that's where a lot of traders go wrong. They give it their all for a little while, but then they start losing commitment or focus. They don't hold themselves accountable to their trade plan, or they start getting impatient, and I've been there too, right? I have gotten impatient plenty of time. You want results yesterday when you're trying to figure out how to make money trading. If you don't get them today, it's very easy to get impatient. But really, results with trading happen over time. So patience is really, really hard to muster up when you want money today. You want to be making money. You want success today. But the problem is a lot of people give up before they really even give themselves a chance to be successful. So let's go on to secret number 3: how to start small and scale quickly. So some people say, I don't know how to get started. I don't have enough money to get started, or then you get overwhelmed with all the information that's out there. So here's how you can get started, right? You can trade with a proven strategy. So really you have 2 options when you want to trade. You can take time, create your own strategy, do the back testing, forward testing, etc. Or you can learn a proven strategy from another trader who's already experiencing success. It's totally up to you, but obviously the fastest route is to learn something that already is working. The second thing is to start small. The beauty of trading Forex especially is that you can actually start small. Like I mentioned earlier, you can start with as little as $50 in an account and make trades with as little as 50 cents. So again, day trading in the stock market's a little bit bigger investment to start, 25K, which is fine for some people, but I know that's out of reach for a lot of people. So if you're interested in starting in a market where you can start small, Forex is definitely one of those. And also there's practice accounts in a lot of financial instruments as well, which are free demo accounts where you can practice without putting any money on the line. Next, you want to work on getting results, right? Work on your understanding of your trade plan, implement it, work towards that operational excellence, or what I like to call flawless execution. And then once you start getting results and making money, even if it's on a small account, your confidence is going to grow right alongside your account balance. And then from there, you get to scale up responsibly, is what I like to say. So start getting results, build your confidence, and then start scaling up your account size or your risk per trade. A lot of people, myself included in the past, jump into trading and they put big money on the line because they're so eager for it to work for them and they think they've got it figured out. And then they end up losing a lot of money. Can anyone relate to that, by the way? I'm just curious. Give me a yes or no. Can anyone relate to just jumping in with both feet, starting big with your trading account, and then losing kind of a lot of money because you maybe didn't know as much as you thought, or you weren't executing consistently? Yeah, got some yeses. You know, in some ways, I think sometimes some of us just have to learn the hard way, but it's not the smartest way to go. And you can start small, build your confidence, and then scale up, which is what I recommend people do in order to just make sure that they have that confidence in the skill set understood before they're putting their hard-earned money on the line. So lots of yeses there. So really, you know, you need an executable strategy. You can do that. You need flawless execution. Again, once you have an executable strategy and a written down trade plan and you understand it, mastering your flawless execution is easy, right? And that's how you get the consistent results. Your confidence will grow, your account will grow, and then you scale up, right? So that's kind of the formula that I like to teach traders, to kind of baby step it, build your confidence, get results, then scale up. So far we've covered how to ditch the complicated trading strategies. There is simple out there. You just have to find it and look for it. How to trade without sacrificing your lifestyle. Again, I don't want anyone waking up in the middle of the night to trade. There are plenty of trading strategies out there, no matter what you're trading, right? Whether you're trading stocks, options, futures, e-minis, etc., you can find a strategy that's going to be flexible to fit with your lifestyle. And 3, how you can start small and then scale quickly. So that's the main thing I wanted to cover today, but anybody want to take it up a notch, go to the next level, kind of get some additional tips? Give me a yes or no in the chat. I'm going to take a drink real fast. Okay, keep going. Yeses. Awesome. So the biggest problem that I see for most traders that's holding them back is the following. I'm going to give you a little bit of an analogy here and see if you guys can relate to this. So if I were to give you, maybe, if my mouse works, it keeps freezing. There we go. A beautiful cake, right? I'm like, I put this beautiful cake in front of you and I give you all the ingredients, right? I just plop a bunch of ingredients in front of you. How many of you think, with seeing the end result of the beautiful cake and having a pile of ingredients in front of you, that you could easily reproduce the cake? Give me a yes or no. No, right? Because there's information missing. Yes, of course, with iterations, right? Trial and error, you could eventually get there, but that's where a lot of people lose patience, right? So if you wanted to produce the cake or reproduce the cake on the first try, or maybe on the first 2 tries, depending upon how good you are at following instructions, you would need the ingredients list, right? The recipe, the measurements, the oven temperature, and the cook time, right? You would need to know those extra details, basically the entire recipe for how to put things together, when to put things together, how much of different ingredients you need, the timing, the oven temperature, etc. That's how you can reproduce the cake easily on maybe your first or second try. So I'm going to give you an offer to work with me. It's really about the full recipe, the plan, the pathway that I use to help clients start trading a proven and executable trading strategy, and it can be learned in 7 days or less. So here's how I can help. I'm going to kind of go through this quickly. I know we're getting short on time, and I also, if we have time, I'll leave questions at the end if there's something you want me to answer. So this is the Consistent Fx Accelerator. It's my program where I help people learn how to trade, Forex in 7 days or less. It includes on-demand training, a trading community, daily trade discussion where we're actively talking about trades throughout the entire 24-hour period. Got people all over the world. I also provide weekly group coaching and unlimited Q&A. So just a quick, I'll go into a little bit more detail, and then I have a special offer for you, and then I'll open it up to Q&A. So Consistent FX Accelerator, it's all about sharing with you and teaching you my proven and executable trading strategy. I give you the trade plan details and everything under the sun with it. That way you can implement it to get consistent results. And I skip out on all the overwhelming fluff that's out there, right? If you were to go to YouTube or Google or anything else, you can be easily overwhelmed with too much information that's not even relevant to a trading strategy. So I just give you exactly what you need from A to Z. Even if you're brand new to trading, you get everything you need in my program. And you can start trading in less than 7 days. Now, a lot of people give me slack on this. Some people are profitable right from the start. Some people have to work on their flawless execution, right? So start trading on a small account, on a practice account in 7 days. Then there's some personal accountability, right? So I'm not sitting here trying to say that everyone who takes this is going to be successful right at that 7-day mark. But what I'm saying is you can implement on within 7 days. Then you might have to do a little tweaking of your understanding. You know, once you start practicing something, a lot of times that's when more questions arise so that you can fine tune your understanding. But that's why it's really important to start trading on a practice account or a small account, really refine your execution, and again, scale from there. So here's what you get in that boot camp. Basically, session 1 is all about mastering your mindset. If you are familiar with me, if you listen to my journey that I gave, mindset is huge. In my personal opinion, success in trading is 50% trading strategy, 50% mindset. So many people focus on the strategy, but you have to equally focus on your mindset. So I kick off the training with a session on mindset mastery. Then I go over trading fundamentals. And then we dive right into setting up your charts, choosing your broker, etc. And then into the trade plan, the logistics part of the trade plan, the qualifications and visuals part of the trade plan, the trade management part of the trade plan. I pull it all together so you can implement it. That's all included in the 7-day consistent FX bootcamp. It's on demand, so technically you could go through it in an entire day if you want, or you can spend, 30 to 60 minutes a day and get through it in a week. It's completely up to you. Here's a couple of quotes from people in my program. Before CFXA, I was frustrated, exhausted, losing money. Now I have something I can apply that is actually profitable, takes all the emotional ups and downs out of trading. So critical. I've purchased many online courses. This one is by far the most comprehensive, relevant, and has the most potential to provide with supplemental income. Love the course. Thanks for sharing your knowledge. And I'm just going to hunker down and use this and not anything else. This is it. No more buying Forex courses, watching YouTube videos. Thanks for saving me so much time and money. And I have a ton of testimonials. I'm not going to bog you down with all that, but who this works for. If you're a new trader, right? If you're someone who has never traded before, but you want to learn a profitable trading strategy, this is for you. If you're an experienced trader that wants more consistency or maybe wants to get into Forex, this is for you. If you're overwhelmed and you want to skip all the fluff, you're trying to do it on your own, you're trying to learn on YouTube and you're like not getting anywhere, this is for you. If you're a struggling trader who wants to, avoid another failed attempt at trading and you actually want to start making money, this is for you. If you're a working professional or an entrepreneur and you kind of want to just build in extra income and find something that's flexible that you can fit into your day, then my strategy is really flexible and would allow you to do that. If you're retired and maybe just wanting to stay sharp or look for some supplemental income, have a profitable hobby, it could work for you, right? So the number one reason people don't get started is they don't have experience. They get a little nervous. Good news, I'm teaching you exactly everything you need to start trading in 4 hours of on-demand content. So literally, again, if you can talk about commitment, focus, prioritization. If you can commit 30 minutes to an hour of training each day, then you can be on your way to trading Forex in for you at the end, so stick around. I'm going to get through this really quickly, but you're also going to get all these tools. I give you a toolkit in a program where you get a trading terminology reference guide for Forex. I know when I first started trading, I was like, I feel like I'm learning a whole new language here. There's like so much happening in the terminology. So I've pulled together all the terminology used in the program, used with Forex, and I put it in a reference guide for you. You get the consistent FX trade plan, which is the trade plan that I use. You get examples of qualified trade setups in a PDF, so you don't have to spend hours scouring your charts looking for examples. I've got them all pulled together for you. I give you a trade journal so you can keep track of your trades. I show you how to use it too. And then I also give you a growth and scaling calculator so you can see how your efforts will pay off in the long run. Because I know we talked about patience earlier, right? It's hard to sit here day in and day out when it seems like the progress is slow, but to see the growth that's possible over a year or 2 years or 3 years, really, really powerful and gives people motivation to stick with it. So with these tools, you can learn and understand everything, flawlessly implement, examine trade examples, monitor your performance, and understand the financial long-term benefits of trading. So again, you're going to get the boot camp, the 7-day consistent FX boot camp. You're going to get the toolkit, total value so far of $2,900. You're also going to get some chart analysis decoded training sessions. So this is where I have 3 recorded chart analysis sessions. You know, I spent years, like I said, in tens of thousands of dollars to get these results and figure out what worked and what didn't. But you don't have to, because I'm going to save you time and money by showing you how to pull all this together. I'm going to shorten your learning curve further by, again, analyzing charts in real time, pulling together that trade plan so you can see exactly how I analyze my charts and look for trades each day. This is going to make it easier and faster for you to implement what you've learned, because it shows you exactly how I trade. It lays out everything in a step-by-step process, and ultimately that allows you to clone my process even easier. So you get the boot camp, the toolkit, the chart analysis decoded sessions. You also get the growth and scaling boot camp. Growth and scaling is huge. It's a really, really important piece of the puzzle that a lot of people don't get to. They focus, again, so much on strategy, but not on the best way to grow and scale. So in the growth and scaling boot camp, these are 3 trainings with some extra tools where you learn how to grow and scale your account responsibly. Again, responsibly is the key word. I've done it irresponsibly in the past, and you don't want to do that. I talk about how you can grow your money more quickly once you understand the trade plan. So it walks you step by step through getting that flawless execution, maximizing your profitability, scaling your growth when the time is right for you. And then I also give you proven formulas that work no matter your account size. So whether you're starting small or big, it will work for you. So again, you get the boot camp, the toolkit, the chart analysis decoded sessions, the growth and scaling boot camp, but then you also get 12-month access to my consistent FX trading community. And this is really, I think, what a lot of people love most, aside from actually getting a trading strategy. So you get 12-month access when you sign up. It includes daily trade discussion posts. So I'm definitely not a signal service, and I wouldn't want you to think that if you were interested. But the great thing about the trade discussion is, again, you get to kind of network with people all over the world, but there's trades happening throughout the entire 24-hour period. I could not possibly notify you of all of those, but there are this amazing community of people all over the world, in the US, Australia, New Zealand, Europe, trading this strategy, talking about trade setups all day long. So when you're learning, it's really valuable for you to see that. And then once you're actually trading, you can contribute and kind of get some trading buddies so that you're not missing trades. I also, in the group, provide weekly group coaching calls. This is where we'll look for trades together. I'll answer any trader questions live on a video. They can be submitted in advance or live on the call. And then I'll go over a results recap. I track every single qualified trade that happens in a 24-hour. I share those results with every single trader in the group. And I also do a recap of them weekly, so we can keep the transparency and the dialogue open about what's really happening in the market, because we're all trading the same thing. And then you can ask me questions anytime in the group. And like I said earlier, network with other traders that are trading the same thing you are. Really, really valuable there. So With the Consistent FX Accelerator, you get the bootcamp, the toolkit, the chart analysis, the growth and scaling bootcamp, 12-month access. It's over $8,900 in value. So I want to paint a picture of where I was before I created and implemented this strategy. I told you guys earlier I was struggling, I was overwhelmed. I spent a lot of time trading. I felt like a failure. Hopefully this doesn't sound familiar, but based on some of the comments, I know some of you are in the same boat. So I want to just pause for a second and help you get a vision of what life could be like, right? So ever since I've really mastered and flawlessly implemented this trading strategy, I've been able to get consistent results and therefore consistent income. And it's really awesome. Like, it almost seems still like a dream come true. So I've paid off credit card bills. I bought cars with cash. I even retired myself from a 6-figure job. And most recently, I just retired my husband, which is really, really awesome. That was one of our big, hairy, audacious goals. 12 years in the making. I just retired my husband from his corporate career. So I know that $8,900 is a lot, and that's not what you're going to pay, but I just want you to see like the long-term impacts of what a profitable trading strategy could be for you. So, if all the program did was help you create a lifetime source of income, would $8,900 be worth it? Of course it would. But again, I'm not going to charge you that. I had a couple of choices. I could go as cheap as possible, sell as many as I could. The problem with that is I wouldn't really be incented to provide you with all that extra value in the community. So the second choice was to raise the price a little, give you absolutely everything that I think you need to be successful, make it an incredible value, packed with that A to Z training, thorough resources, daily trade discussion, weekly group coaching, and ultimately unlimited access to me. Because I don't know about you, but when I'm learning something new, I really want to be able to ask questions. I'm totally a question asker. Anyone relate to that? Do you like to ask questions when you're learning something new? Gosh, I just love being able to ask questions and have access to my teacher. I was probably that annoying person in school that would always ask a lot of questions and everyone always hated me, but I don't care. I like to be able to ask questions. I like to understand the why behind things. So that's why I like to offer that to my clients. So if I can get my mouse to work again, give me a second. So again, $8,900 value. My regular price for this is $1,995 for everything I just mentioned. Today, I'm giving you a special discount because you're here with me on this training. You're making your education a priority. So for today, you can get the Consistent FX Accelerator. You're not going to pay $8,900. You're not going to pay $2,000. I have a special price of $995. So just over half off my normal price. Or if you prefer a monthly payment plan, it's only $333. And I'm adding in a bonus one-on-one coaching call for the first 20 people to join. So if you want to take advantage of this, it's available today. You can go to my website, take a screenshot or a picture of this if you'd like, www.consistentfxprofits.com/limited time offer. You'll see a lot more information on that page if you want to read about the details that are included. But again, you are going to get everything we talked about at that price, including the one-on-one coaching call for the first 20 people, valued over $8,900 for $995. Like, if you're interested at all, it's a great deal. So ConsistentFXProfits.com, limited time offer. We have just a couple questions. If anyone has questions, I'll try to scroll through the chat box real fast here, see if there's anything I missed. David asks, does your program work if we bring our own strategies and setups? No, the whole point of joining my program would be if you want to learn what I trade. So I focus on one strategy. It works really well. So I don't deviate from it, honestly. I used to be, in my past, when I was not profitable, a serial system hopper. I would try something for a little while, it wouldn't work, kind of get bored with it, impatient, like I mentioned earlier, and I'd flip to the next. I learned, for me, that doesn't work, because what ends up happening is you don't end up ever being a master of a single trading strategy. So for me, I found one strategy that works and I trade it, and I stick with it, and I'm not pulled to anything else because it works. Michelle asked, is it for Forex only? Yes. So I definitely teach it and trade it personally only for Forex. All the trainings in relation to Forex. Like I mentioned, from a technical analysis standpoint, I do have a lot of clients that trade multiple markets like stocks, futures, E-minis, etc. And they are able to take a lot of the principles over to those other markets. But I certainly wouldn't want you to sign up if you didn't have an intention of trading Forex, because I think you'd be a little disappointed because there is a lot of Forex specific detail. Good question. Sorry, I didn't make that clear. Will this PDF be distributed? No, the PowerPoint isn't available. I know the recording is available, so David and Anka will make that available, and feel free to take screenshots of anything. And then if you want the trade execution checklist, I'll put that link back in the discussion area as well. Basically, it's consistentfxprofits.com/checklist. So if you're wanting that PDF, that will be available for you at the website I'm about to type. So there's that for you. Oops, it's not hyperlinking for someone. consistentfxprofits.com/checklist. If you copy it in your web browser, it should work. Do you provide actual account statements of real trades? Yeah, I can. If you email me, I'll put my email. I'd be happy to send you a couple of account statement screenshots. In terms of the trades I share in the group, they're all real trades. I don't take them all because I don't trade for the full 24-hour period, obviously, but I collect those stats so that people all over the globe can see what trades are setting up during the time of day that they're trading. And it helps them, again, see if they're missing things, make sure the trades they're taking are actually qualified, and builds in that consistent execution there. So I'll put in my email here if you wish to email me for any questions. And I think we're up on time here, David and Anka. Thank you all so much for attending live and for engaging in my questions throughout. I hope you enjoyed it and enjoy the freebie. And if you're interested in joining the Consistent Fx Accelerator, I would obviously love to work with you and empower you on your journey to profitable trading. Thanks, everyone.